All right, guys, we're back here on Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel. SEC basketball reaction on a Wednesday night. How about that? As usual, when we get these 5-game Wednesdays or Tuesdays, we try to at least give you something on the opening slate of the night. Probably won't do that for the other games this evening. We'll talk about those tomorrow morning. But 2 notable games, Max. Florida gets an 84-71 win at Texas. Vanderbilt holds off Georgia for an 88-80 victory in Nashville. What was the final spread from that game?
I think 9.5.
Yeah, that was an easy one for the Bulldogs. They said, we'll keep it within 9.5. Almost made a run at that one, though. Thought they were going to get it. Didn't happen. We'll talk about it. But the Gators, what do you know? Just when you thought that the Texas Longhorns were sliding on in, or were they up 3 with, I don't remember the exact scenario, but then Florida just, the rest of the way, it was all Gators. They said, all right, it's like where you just hit the button and just push the button, the Gators chomp, and that was it.
Hop on in, Gators fans. Geez, there's quite a few. We've picked up quite the Gators contingent here the past year and a half here, Blake. Can't complain. Can't complain here. Sign me up for Ruben Chinulu against Matas Vokititis every day of the week. What a matchup. Well, Tommy H against Dailyn Swain. We circled this one in our preview. We said, all right. Ken Palm's telling us the number's going to be this. The spread will probably be this. Throw it out. We think this one's going to be pretty tight. And it was all the way until about the final 5 minutes there where Florida stepped on they didn't really step on the gas. They just more so cut the water off of Texas, didn't give them anything. Did a great job defensively there in that second half. No Lucina Traore for Texas. Will say that off the jump. Could have used another big body like, Hand-Lockton comes in off the bench. Traore comes in off the bench. Would have been a nice battle there as well. Another game within the game. But, man, what can we say about the Gators at this point in the season, Blake? Alex Condon. Do we have a new member of the royal family? Is this
we got a king, we got a sir.
We got a sir.
What else do we have? What's the other? Prince Condon?
There needs to be something. Because this guy's playing out of his mind, Blake.
Royal Alex? I don't know. Like, we got to come up with something. Yeah, we'll find something. The chat will annoy him. Duke Alex. Oh, how about that? Yeah,
all right,
that's
Jeff
not bad.
DNC.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Duke Alex. I just remembered that one sequence there in the second half. He gets switched out onto Kendall Weaver. It's at like the bottom corner, near corner of your screen. Kendall Weaver goes baseline, tries the reverse layup. Condon stuffs it, grabs the rebound, pushes the ball up the court in transition like he's a point guard, and then finds Sir Thomas for a perfect lob alley-oop. Do you know how hard that is to do?
Yeah.
To get switched out on a Kendall Weaver on the perimeter, move your feet and stay in front, block the shot, start the transition, perfect pass. Condon's playing out of his mind.
Jordan Pope makes the layup with 7 minutes and 27 seconds left in this game. Texas up 64-61. According to ESPN, Texas then had a 57.1% chance to win. They did not score another field goal the rest of the game. It was all free throws from then on out. So, I mean, what do you do if you're playing the Gators and you're saying, you're going to give me 8 minutes without scoring and I'm going to win? I don't think so. They had free throws, but if you can't score a basket, and like you said, they just completely turned up the defense, and that's what you want to see, and that's why this team's been so good. We like talking about our offense and all this, but, you know, when we mention Florida's biggest strengths, and you can pick apart all the things you want, there's just not a lot of people can match up with that kind of lineup and be able to score consistently. It's just, what do you do? Like, how do you do it? Like, there's so many ways they can stop you, whether it's blocking shots, whether it's putting themselves just in good individual position, knowing this was a team that liked to go a little one-on-one action. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, like you said, they just completely water turns off, the intensity turns up, and they said, "All right, you can try to beat us, but we've got these guys right here, and I don't know how you're going to score against us." So
that was kind of the take in the preseason was if you pair up 44% from three with this front court, that's the recipe right there. Well, how about a little role reversal? All right. Offensive rebounds. Florida, 7. Texas, 14. 3-pointers. Florida, 44%. They make 8 of them. Texas only makes 5 on 38%. Okay. So Florida loses the rebounding battle. Dailyn Swain, does he get 20 points? Yep. Okay. Was Condon, Ha, and Chinyalu in foul trouble? Yep. Okay. Let's see. Tommy H had 5. Ruben had 4. And Lockton had 3. They all had 3 at the same time, I remember, at one point. Okay, so Texas won, right?
please.
Oh, wait. No, they lost by double digits. What are we doing? Jeez. Also, we've got some pretty good nicknames coming in, by the way.
We got King Kondo. I like that. But we already have King Ruben. I don't know if we can
do another King.
Oh, Ryan's though. It's hard to beat that. King Condon. I think that might be the winner. We might have to go with that.
We also have though Condon the Conqueror.
Okay, I like that one better actually. That one's better. Okay.
Holly with Count Kondo.
Oh.
I know.
Ooh, we're gonna have to put this to a vote. You know what? That's right. We're gonna keep this to a vote here. We're gonna give you Count Kondo or what was the other one?
Or Condon the Conqueror.
Yeah, I like Kondo the Conqueror better than Condon the Conqueror.
No. Okay, We'll go with Count Kondo or Kondo the Conqueror.
Yeah, it's one of the
or
two.
the conductor.
Oh no, I like that one too. Okay. Oh boy. All right. Well, apologies to
come back.
Alex Condon's parents for us trying to rename him, but yeah, he was terrific, and I know people mentioned Boogie Fland as you talked about. Like the guy, 22 points, 31 minutes here, was a star. Hit some big shots. Herb kept knocking down his threes from the corner. Just kept doing it. So, yeah, I mean, again, let's remember, guys, like we pointed this out, maybe it was before the game. Here is Florida's road performances in SEC play over the past, month or so. 13-point win at Texas now, 19-point win at Ole Miss, 20-point win at Georgia, 19-point win at A&M, 47-point win at South Carolina. They won by 4 at Vanderbilt, won by, 16-17 in Oklahoma. And, oh, yeah, they did lose that game at Missouri by 2 points on January 3rd. How you play away from home matters in the NCAA tournament. What do you know? The team that won the NCAA tournament last year is proving to be pretty good away from home.
I mean, how do you put the full season perspective on this team, Blake? I mean, I remember watching games. It doesn't feel too long ago. I was trying to think of the exact game that it was, but I vividly remember a Florida game earlier in the season, and maybe you Florida fans, it'll spark your memory as well. But I remember a game where Boogie Fland is not even being guarded in the mid-range. I mean, the drop coverage that was played on Boogie Fland was don't guard him on the perimeter. He's not going to make the 3. And then uncharacteristically, he's not even looking for his mid-range. He's kind of just looking to pass. He's trying to touch paint and look outside right away to pass. And it's like, man, Boogie is just, where is his confidence gone? He has the mid-range game. Completely different player now. Some of those floaters he was hitting, he wasn't shooting those shots earlier in the year. EJ says it was the TCU game. It might have been. I remember coming on a reaction after a Florida game or two, and I'm just, we're talking about the offense from Boogie and how he's so good defensively, but how he just looks so out of character compared to what we saw a year ago. And now this is a completely new player. It's almost like he's a junior now. The November Boogie was far gone. It was the TCU. Okay, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember in that game, different player.
Yeah, for sure. That's been a big difference. Yeah. I mean, they're what now? What were they defensively in Ken Palm before this game? Oh, they're up to fourth now. Um, yeah.
They were fourth.
Were they fourth? For some reason, I
Yeah.
thought they were higher than that. Okay, so they're at fourth still. Yeah. Well, that just proves the point. I mean, they gave up 71 against the Texas team, like we said, that whatever, sixth in offensive efficiency. So, yeah.
Well, there is
That's
a
the
big.
thing.
What's the thing?
No, I mean, the thing is, like, I pointed out how much they won by, but just keep this in mind. Like, they gave up 71 at Texas, 75 at Ole Miss, 66 at Georgia, 67 at A&M. Three of those teams are pretty good offensively. South Carolina 48, not so great offensively, but yeah, like even Oklahoma, giving up 79 to Oklahoma, you'll take that. So it's like, man, they just road warriors. They're hawk and animal here, Max. I know you have studied up on the road warriors, hawk and animal, but yeah,
And I do have some. I do have one or two thoughts on Texas here because I mean, geez, they played really well for like 30 to 35 minutes of basketball here. I do want to mention them, but there was a trend, a sneaky trend, I actually called it, to keep an eye on for the remainder of the season. And you guys know I'm doing my big analytics March Madness breakdown. And the 4-year, 5-year trends that I'm noticing is a 4-year trend from the NIL era that if you have a top 10 overall Ken Pom team, but your offense is outside the top 15, which basically just means like the reason you're top 10 is because your defense. You're not top 10 because of your offense. They were 0 for 14 on Final Fours in the last 4 years. The 14 teams that had fit that profile. And the Gators were fitting that profile just barely. And so I was like, hey, this is something to monitor here. Watch how this Florida offense performs over the next month because they could find themselves in a trend that doesn't lend too kindly to deep March Madness runs. Well, up to 14th now after they were 16th before this game. So, hey, that the eye test is showing right up on the analytics. The offense, more spacing, more perimeter play from the guards, and the offensive efficiencies shooting on up into the top 15.
I agree. Reminds me of something. Reminds me of something, Max. Would you rather go up against these guys or would you rather go up against Alex Condon and Ruben Chinyelu? It's a tough call. I mean, we're talking, does this not remind you of the Florida Gators here? If you're trying to score on Florida, you're basically looking at these two guys right here and they're saying, come on, bring it on. That's what it's like trying to score on Florida right now. All right? So just want to give you a visual proof of this. So
yeah,
I mean that's kind of it. That's it right there. So there you have it.
I needed that visualization. I didn't know how much I needed it.
Yeah, that's what you needed. Yeah, Sean knew. Sean knew in the chat. What a rush. All right. Well, if we want it updated, is Florida going to win the SEC odds here? We don't have them, but I'll give them to you. There's a pretty good chance Florida's going to win the SEC, but there's a decent chance that could happen. I mean, look, they have Arkansas at home, then they're at Kentucky. Speaking of Arkansas at home, let me get a quick update on this game because when I started looking at it, it didn't look so great for the Hawks. Takes a minute to load here. Oh, okay, they're up 5. They were down 7 early. They're already up 5.
Ooh.
Alabama's up 100 on Mississippi State early. Yeah, so I mean, if you want to play technicality here, if they lose to Arkansas, lose to Kentucky, they get to 4 losses. Alabama wins out, which I think is possible. You got a tie. Florida owns the tiebreaker, so they would still share the regular season title. I'm not a fan of that. I keep saying that all the time. I think you should just go ahead and just give one team the championship. But Florida would be the number 1 seed in the tournament, so all those kind of things. If you want to play worst case scenario potentially for the Gators, but I will not be doing that. So I think they're in good shape.
Yeah, for Texas, I don't think this is gonna. I know you don't cover the spread by what was the 7.5, so you don't cover by 6. That's not gonna ding you too much. I think Texas just stalemates where they were before. Still in the tournament, and they got home against Arkansas on Saturday, which I think, Blake, that's a win and in. Like you're locked after that for Texas on Saturday. And you still got Mississippi State at home and Kentucky on the road. So that if you're Texas and you drop that Arkansas game and then you win against Mississippi State, I think that road game against Kentucky also could be a win and lock yourself in. But yeah, they're not gonna. If you're a Longhorns fan watching this, are we gonna get dinged for this? Are we moving back? No, don't worry.
Not for this, but if you were to lose these next 2 road games, I think I would not test that idea.
Oh, well, yeah, that changes things.
And they're going to be, I think they're probably going to be underdogs in the next 2 road games. So I think you're going to have to sneak one of those out to feel pretty.
At Florida's schedule. What am I talking about?
Oh, were you looking at Florida's schedule?
Yeah.
Oh, no. So Texas's schedule, they're at A&M, at Arkansas.
Yes.
And then they're home against Oklahoma. So I think the thing is, though, like if they were to lose both the road games, I think they still probably get in as long as you win the Oklahoma game. But I wouldn't want to test that theory. Because remember, guys, we always talk about like the bubble teams. We are not really talking very much about the inevitable bid stealers out there that are going to win conference tournaments and like the possibility of that. And so like you need to be more than just like, okay, we're in the last 4 in. No, you need to maybe try to be the last 6 in, because like you give a couple spots and just assume that a couple of those are going to get stolen by somebody. So I don't, that's why, again, I'm not trying to be pessimistic on the SEC, but I don't think you want to play around with this when it comes to just knowing how many teams are that close to the line right now. And this doesn't really hurt you, like you said, if you're Texas, but again, I don't want to test the idea that you're on a 4-game losing streak and maybe you beat Oklahoma and that's going to be what gets you into the field. I'm not sure about that. So I'm not sure.
With the way that St. Louis has kind of been shaky lately, just pretty much go ahead and guarantee the A-10 is stealing a bid.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Just go ahead and pencil it in. But
yeah. And I mean, we talked about the Miami of Ohio theory and all that. Like, these are things that are still in play potentially. So, and yeah, I mean, Sean brings up a good point. Like, if you're Texas, you're looking at if you get the 9 seed in the SEC tournament and you play LSU, you lose that one. Like, no thanks. Like, you're out if that happens. So, that's just, all these different scenarios. You don't love them, but.
So would you put it then at for Texas fans, win one of the next 2?
Yeah. If you can split the road games, which I think winning at A&M is, I don't want to say it's easy, but I think you got better odds there than you do at Arkansas.
Yes.
So if you just win the A&M game, I think they're in, as long as they don't blow it against Oklahoma. Which, I mean, it's possible.
They could.
Oklahoma, you said it earlier. Oklahoma's going to be the ultimate. They're just going to ruin someone's NCAA tournament hopes.
They are. They are.
It's just, who's it going to be? Because I remember they still host Missouri, and they got to go to Texas, and they're in next week. Like, that's their last 2 games, and I think they're going to ruin one of them's season maybe. So I don't know.
Still feel good about a Longhorn Final Four run?
I know people are asking in the chat. What do we? I didn't have them in the Final Four, but I had them in the Elite 8. So, I mean, we may have gotten a little carried away. It's possible.
I was just having fun.
It's possible.
The one thing I do like about Texas is there's not where with a lot of these teams in the SEC that are floating between, I don't know, what do you say, 8 seeds to the bubble, the kind of group of SEC teams that are all floating in there. A lot of them have severe just like physicality issues or like height issues or something like that. Whereas, throw Arizona up against Texas. Like, okay, Arizona's probably going to win because of other reasons, but Vokey-Titus is going to hang right in there with Awaka and Krivas. Swain's not backing down from Pete. Like, their physicality, I like how that translates to bigger teams.
Yeah. All right. So Florida, 13-2 in the SEC, and yeah, we'll see how it plays out for both of these teams here moving forward. Let's look at if there's anything else. I was trying to look at the updated. Hasn't changed, but yeah, Florida does have the fourth best national championship odds right now. So keep that in mind for a team that could be a 2 or 3 seed in the tournament. Right now, they're behind Michigan, Duke, Arizona, and then it's Florida. So something to consider on that. Yeah.
Nothing too concerning with Tommy's ankle, right? He was fine.
I don't think so. But, those ankles, though, those can be
You
nagging.
wake up in the morning and it's worse or something.
Good thing, I guess, you want to, they don't play, they play the late game on Saturday. So, gives you a little extra
Tommy H.
time.
Prayer Circle. Tommy H. Prayer Circle in the chat.
There's a little time. We'll get Count Condo and King Ruben in there.
Yep.
So, they'll take care of it.
The
All
count.
Right. The count. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying ankle sprains are fun, Sean, but we're trying to be optimistic here. I think he'll be okay. Yeah. All right. Vanderbilt gets the win against Georgia. 88-80. Commodores snapped their 2-game losing streak and led the entire game here. And again, it was a little closer than they would have wanted because they were up 20 at one point. Got out to a fantastic start. And, I mean, if you want to understand the difference that Duke Miles can make on this team, it's like just having him on the floor and just giving you that added depth. And especially when you look at a game like this, I mean, you had 7 players score 6 or more points. You had 6 players score 10 or more points, right? And just the overall balance that this team can have. When you have a Duke Miles, that takes the pressure off of everybody else. And it's just like it's so hard to guard them, I think, when he's on the court. Tennessee did a pretty good job, but I mean, I will throw a little bit of that to it was his first game back. Like, he was missing shots, you could just tell, like, wasn't in a rhythm yet. But I think it's kind of one of those where once this guy gets back in a groove, which he looked like he was getting, a little bit closer to that, only played 21 minutes, but was also in foul trouble, I think. Wasn't he? Yeah.
He picked up the 4th pretty early.
That's right. So I was like, these games, man, they blur together sometimes, especially these night games. I'm not going to lie to you. Day games, sometimes I'm like, I'm on this, but night games, I'm like, it blurs. So I think it's such a big difference, though, having him there. And I think that's going to wind up, like we say, remember, the committee's going to factor that in too. So if Vanderbilt winds up being a seed line higher than people think they should be, you got to consider that. Because, I mean, we're talking about a team that lost by a point to Missouri, a point to Oklahoma. I know that one was kind of lopsided, but so was the Missouri game. And they fought it, back. So that's something I think the committee's going to look at. But, yeah, I thought this was a pretty impressive performance overall for Vanderbilt. And, I also think for Georgia, I mean, we said it, right? Think about the games they played without Jeremiah Wilkinson.
Right.
They lost 2 games and got beat by 20 in Florida, but lost by 16 in Oklahoma. And all he's done since then is come back, scored 19 in every game, scored 28 tonight in 26 minutes, didn't have a single turnover. So, yeah, I mean, I just think that he makes a huge difference too. So I thought it was a pretty high-level game here once Georgia figured out a way to kind of fight their way back into it.
Yeah, didn't come away feeling bad about either team here. I liked what I saw from Georgia early on when Vanderbilt goes up by, 10, 15, then it gets out to 20, I believe. You're thinking, okay, that's why the spread was 9.5. All right, that's why. Okay.
Right.
I knew something smelled weird. And then
I was trying to cash out.
And then Georgia starts getting to the free throw line. They grab a few offensive rebounds. Vanderbilt did win the glass here. So big time double-double there from McLaughlin. And how about 6 defensive rebounds there from Tanner? Getting down and dirty with the big boys. I love it. But for Vanderbilt, how about those turnovers or lack of turnovers? They only turned the ball over 4 or 5 times. And this is against a Georgia team that in SEC play forces the second most turnovers. This is a not nasty in terms of like they're elite everywhere, but in terms of forcing turnovers, forcing chaos, getting the ball and just picking up the pace, forcing tempo, Georgia makes teams uncomfortable. They couldn't do anything to speed up Vanderbilt to get them out of their rhythm. It was no matter who was initiating the offense, if it was Okereke, if it was Tyler Tanner, Duke Miles, how about Chandler Bing in there flying around, picking up 5 fouls in 18 minutes? First time thumbnail appearance for Mr. Bing. But yeah, I thought that was the difference, was kind of just Vanderbilt's ability to take care of the rock and get a good shot off almost every time down.
Yeah, and I think that's where like the ball handling aspect, like in some of those games where we were watching them, we're just like, oh my gosh, if anyone puts pressure on them, yikes. And I know like the Memphis game was so long ago, but like that's the game that stood out. We're just like, what in the world am I watching right now? And then when you got into some of those without Duke Miles, like you're kind of seeing a different team. It felt like, and now that you have him back, the extra ball handling ability, and look, Tyler Tanner too is someone that just does not. He doesn't make that many like just big time mistakes, right? Like at the wrong moment, he makes a bad turnover. He's going to turn the ball over some just because he handles the ball as much as he does. But I think his court awareness is just so good. And remember, this is a team too that plays at a very high tempo, and still their ability to kind of have that awareness and not turn the ball over that much is pretty impressive. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty, impressive win overall for Vanderbilt. And I think just again, seeing the balanced scoring that they had in this game, basically you're playing, it's a 7-man rotation right now. I mean, Tyler Harris only played 3 minutes, but so I think just if that's what you're rolling with, staying out of foul trouble is going to be important, but I think you feel pretty good about where you're at. I think going into the stretch run. Remember, guys, we said that's the last home game of the season for Vanderbilt. So nothing. You know what? That reminds me of something, Max. Last game of the season for Vanderbilt, which means these final 3 games of the year, they're going to need to be road warriors. I mean, they're going to need to get out there and just, that's what they're going to have to be. So, if you really think about it.
It is, you make a very good argument there.
Yeah. Well, that was a layup. That was very easy. Yeah, so I do. I come out of this game feeling pretty good about both teams. I don't think if you're a Georgia fan, you're all that upset about that one. Because remember, Georgia made up a lot of ground last week, winning those games at Kentucky, beating Texas by 11 at home. Like, they did themselves a lot of good. So I don't think that really hurts them all that much. So, no. So, all right. What else you got from this one? Anything else you want to add before we get to a few other things here on the way out?
Well, okay. I just quickly, I got to pull up this little sequence here from D Wright. Just joining. Duke Alex is fire. Going back to the condo names. And then 2 minutes later, hold the phone. Condo for the win.
That's the winner. We're declaring it right now.
There. D Wright.
There's been enough. Yeah, there's been enough count condos. We got to go count condo.
Yep.
I think that's the new one. So we're going to need I'm sure ChatGPT or something can make us an image where I'm like, hey, ChatGPT, give me a royal family consisting of Sir Thomas Houck, King Ruben Chenyolu, and Count Kondo. Can you imagine the fire that thing would be spitting out? Unbelievable. Yeah. If anyone out there is an artist, please let us know.
Make it happen.
We'll get that graphic on there. So, all right. Yeah. Anyways, by the way, let's address what people have been talking about in the chat, okay? We are well aware, as I'm watching this here, that Alabama is 13 of 21 from 3 in the first 16 minutes of this game.
I was not aware.
If you want to know why so many times this year I said I think Alabama has the highest upside of any SEC team, it's because they can do this, and no one else can do this. I'm sorry. There's not another SEC team that can come out and just start splashing from 3 the way the Tide can. So if they go 8 of 48, they're going to get beat. But if they're 13 of 21 in the first half against anybody, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Florida. I don't care if it's Michigan. It doesn't matter. They're beating them. But that didn't happen against the Gators.
What's the team record? Can we get Southeastern 16 stats and research on this in the background?
Yeah, get stats and research. Get out here and get on
research
this.
on this. What
Amari Allen, 5 of 5. Oh, my.
Yeah, I saw Brett say something about trying to keep Amari Allen in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. Well,
with every passing week, I lose hope that Amari Allen will be back for his sophomore season. Yeah. I think we're going to need to buy quite a few Alabama NIL mugs. We're going to have to buy the whole lot.
What's Mike Nwoko up to? Yeah, Alabama's they're rolling right now, are the Tide. 52-25. My goodness. Unreal. So, but you kind of called this. You were like, Alabama's just had a lot of success against Mississippi State, I feel like. But they do this to other teams too. So it's not just Mississippi State. All right. So Alabama's rolling. I think we can go ahead and maybe call that one. Arkansas has rebounded nicely. They were down 9-2. They're up 31-19 right now. Ole Miss and LSU in a battle in Oxford. Somebody needs that one.
It's a real game of the night. You want to see competitive hoops. You know where to go.
Yeah. All right. We're going to do two things here on the way out unless we get some super chats. Condomania. Running wild, brother. Ryan asked this a couple times earlier. Do you believe in it's good to get a loss before the tournament narrative? I'm 50-50 on it, but it definitely helped us last year after the bad loss to Georgia.
Oh, what is it? Give me a second. I know the stat. Because it's my stat. How do I not know my own stat? This is when you guys start having too many stats. You forget your own stats.
Yeah, give me some active win streak stats.
Because it's something about it's yes. The past 10 champions have all lost at least one game in February. It's on a 10-for-10 streak. It helps out to get a little reset in some form or fashion in February. The last team to make the run was Duke, and before that it was Anthony Davis' Kentucky team. So it can be done. It helps to get a little reset. It's on a 10-for-10 streak.
All right, Florida fans, if you want to play up the streak, all right, and you say we have to keep that streak going, who would you rather lose to? Would you rather lose to Arkansas or Kentucky?
Oh, it's February, so it has to be Arkansas.
Oh, geez, you're right. It has to be Arkansas. Oh, well.
It's not like it hasn't been done. Duke did it with the Jahlil Okafor team, and Kentucky did it with Anthony Davis. It could be the royal family this time around, but it's just a trend. It's just a trend.
You play to win the game. The Gators don't want to lose.
There you go.
They don't want to lose.
Yeah.
Get that out of here. They don't want to lose a game. Lose one in the SEC tournament and just head on back. So
I was gonna say, you can count so-and-so game as a loss because it was close. But the closest game they have in February is a 9-point win. I mean, that's the closest game.
Amari Allen just hit another three. Or no, he didn't. Sorry, he did not hit another three. But Alabama's got 60.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
They got 60 points right now. They're going to be up 30 at halftime. Yeah, I don't know. Guys, I mean, honestly, and I realize people are like, well, they beat up on bad teams. That's not the point here. Like, you're talking about a team that's about to be on a 7-game winning streak. And, like, if they win at Tennessee on Saturday, I think there's a good chance that Alabama's winning 10 in a row to finish the regular season. And they will have gotten their February loss out of the way by losing to Florida on February the 1st. So, I think it's very possible. I'm telling you. But they got to win on Saturday, and Tennessee's had their number. So, I don't know if I'm going to predict that. I don't know if that'll be my prediction. But if they were to go to Knoxville and win, I think Alabama's going to be on a 10-game winning streak to end the regular season. There you have it. They hit another three, 16-27. They are 16 of 27 from three in the first half. They have 63 points.
Are they even guarding out there? Has Mississippi State gotten off the bus?
We know what's going to happen. Josh Hubbard's going to go for 35 in the second half alone, and this game's going to be 128 to 107.
Jeez, boys, put a hand up for crying out loud.
Do you know how many SEC teams have probably failed to score 63 points in a game this season? I would say several. Missouri, Tennessee was 69-65 last night. Bama's got 63 at the half. Jeez.
Nice.
So, by the way, did you see Jeff Borzello put out the coaching carousel thing today?
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
All right, so here I'm going to give you some info that Jeff Borzello dropped today, and then we're heading out. We're going to watch the rest of these games. I got to watch the second half from Alabama. I don't care that it's 30 points. Before we do, quickly, Holly reminds us Wyatt had a great first day today. And he won the raffle for a gift card. Look at that. I knew it. There were good vibes. Knew it.
Man,
Knew it. Good vibes.
Yeah.
Good vibes for Wyatt.
Love to hear it. Love it.
All right, so Jeff Borzello today. Let me find this column real quick. I want to make sure I got this. We could have saved this for tomorrow, but you know what? We got a lot of people in here. So here's what he had. All right. Jobs that could open. Here's this category. LSU. McMahon would be owed $8 million if fired, which, along with the injury issues, could ultimately play a role in McMahon trending toward returning for another season. I don't think that's a surprise, because I said if I rank the three that seem possible, I would rank LSU at the bottom because of the buyout. And I'm not sure LSU is willing to pay that, to be honest with you. But I'm going to give you the connection that he has on LSU as I go down to this other section.
What do we got?
High-profile candidates to keep an eye on. Whether Wade would leave NC State after one season is a different story. But there is growing speculation that LSU would be potentially interested in a reunion. Are you kidding me? Are we going to get Will Wade back to LSU?
Jeff, who's the source on this? Who's the source on this stuff?
Just saying. All right, let me give you some more here. I'm just giving you guys some intel on a Wednesday night here from Jeff Borzello. All right, he also went to Oklahoma here. OU is going to miss the tournament for the fourth time in 5 seasons. Here's the thing I keep forgetting about. New athletic director, Roger Denny, who was hired in late January, will face a critical decision within weeks of his arrival. Moser has more than $5 million left on his deal. So he also adds this with Porter Moser, and this is where I think we have to keep this in mind. I feel like we've said this a little bit. He has him in the high-profile candidates to keep an eye on. Why? Because he's a big enough name and resume to land on his feet at a reasonably strong job, whether that's by leaving on his own or being let go. And I think that, to me, seems like the most likely scenario. $5 million, whatever left on the deal, he gets another job. It's kind of like it's not the same as Mike White. But remember, like, Mike White leaves Florida, didn't get fired, he went to Georgia. And so it's like, I think that's the best for all parties. Do it that way. So, see what job opens. I think he would be a strong candidate despite the lack of success at Oklahoma. And it works out for everybody, in my opinion.
Interesting. It's weird he said that about LSU, given the AD said if you miss the tournament this year, you're done.
Well, he did list that in his He mentions that at the very start of the paragraph.
Okay.
He says, athletic director raised the temperature on him, but after a 12-1 start to the season, struggling mightily with star point guard Dean Thomas sitting out for most of conference play. So he's just giving you scenarios here. He's not saying this is what's going to happen. All right? South Carolina. He's got Lamont Paris in the probably a year away category. We talked about this earlier today. It sounds as if the school plans to increase Paris's NIL budget, which we talked about quite a bit this morning.
He needs it.
In hopes that he will turn things around next season. And this is where, again, I just forget all these contracts. He signed that 6-year, $26 million extension through 2030. God, 2030. Can you imagine saying that? And there's still over $12 million remaining on it.
All right, he's staying.
I cannot see a scenario where they fire him now. I just can't. But
Okay,
they got to up the NIL budget. So, I mean, it's got to happen.
What's Moser's buyout? Was it $5 million? Did you say?
I think they said it was around $5 million or something. which is compared to $12 million. It's a very big difference.
So then Oklahoma really just comes down to that athletic director. Does he want to prioritize, like, what sport he wants to prioritize with football and basketball?
Let me give you a couple more nuggets here. All right. High-profile candidates to keep an eye on. Chris Jans, Mississippi State. Mississippi State is considered one of the worst jobs in the SEC, so it's conceivable he could look to jump to another high major program with the right fit. I don't think he's listing that unless he is like gauging some of these things. Chris Beard, Ole Miss. Beard is in the same category as Jans, a coach who could look to bounce to a job with a bigger budget if something becomes available. All right. Mark Byington. There's no sign that Byington has interest in leaving Vanderbilt, but of the coaches of the top 20 schools, he is one of the few who could still potentially make a jump up. However, Vanderbilt checks a lot of boxes for Byington, and there doesn't appear to be anything in line to open that would be a clear step up. There's also a sizable buyout to get him out of Nashville. I don't see that happening unless you just get one of those, like... This is where, like, I think the domino effect of coaches potentially retiring. Like we've talked about Rick Barnes, we like could have Bill Self, like all those kind of guys. Then you start that just ridiculous domino. So, but I mean, those are all hypothetical situations. So,
Moser and Jans, just it might not be next year, but they just seem destined for the Big Ten.
Yeah, like I like having Jans in the SEC at Mississippi State. Just I think that's just such a tough job. Again, NIL is everything right now. It just is. Like we can all try to kid ourselves and act like it's not. It is. Like it is a huge part of this thing to be successful. No guarantees, because you can ask some of these SEC teams that got astronomical budgets this year that it ain't clicked, but it helps a lot. Yeah. All right. We're out of here. We're gonna go watch these games. Alabama just hit 15 more threes. It's halftime.
Got 63 at half. It's ridiculous.
Man. Hey, speaking of a good game, Ole Miss LSU, 42-41 at the half. Max McKinnon, he's got 18.
Game of the week.
Billy Richmond's got 15 for the Hogs. Oh, man.
You guys.
This is incredible. All right, we're going to watch the second half of these games.
See you guys tomorrow morning.
We'll recap those tomorrow morning. And we'll do our SEC predictions live for our featured games for the weekend. Boy, what a weekend of games. We'll get those and all that good stuff. All right. Appreciate you guys.
February? It is.
Yeah, man. This is March. Next week it's March, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Get ready. Get ready. All right. We appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon here at Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.